visit your local library.
What the fuck?
I guess my parting words is if you're too broke to buy comics, visit your local library.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I tried to
Okay,
give
just get us out of here. Just get us out of here.
Yeah, that thing still kills me. Even like 2 days later, that thing kills me. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Had to think about that for a minute. Happy Tuesday. We are talking She Hulk Spec books, so I hope everybody's ready. I hope everybody's excited. I know there's hockey playoffs. There's a lot of things going on today, so those of you joining, appreciate it. At the end of the show, I got a little announcement coming up that I want to talk about, and yeah, let's bring in the other guest. There is only one guest today, and it is not just myself. It is Mr. Tyme. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? Yeah, it looks like it's just me and you tonight. Hyper, he went a little hard last night, so to speak.
Oh man, yeah. For those of you that didn't know, yeah, Hyper is not here. He pulled double duty on Sunday, Monday, and he's not feeling too good. So yeah, he's just sitting it out. Nothing wrong with that. From time to time, we kind of have to take a break. So yeah, hopefully it gets better. And it sucks because saying that you're sick or ill during these times is scary. Right. I sneezed today at work, and I thought people were gonna shoot me or something. So it is what it is.
But it's cool. It's probably just the clap or something,
Jesus. So yeah. Hopefully Hyper's with us next week, and yeah, shouts to him. He's probably watching or in bed, but whatever the case is. So
definitely, if you're watching Hyper, feel better, man.
Yeah, man. So we're going to be talking about She Hulk. Yes. And I know what you're thinking. Whoa, that's a little far out. That's like, a year away, but this is the best time to do it. I think outside of, She Hulk 1, not a lot of people are talking about She Hulk books. And for whatever the case may be, this is when you want to buy, when a lot of people aren't talking about other things or other possibilities. So, just something to be on the lookout for, something to, kind of have your eye out for. As we all know, books don't really get hot until they're right in front of us. We know that so many things are coming, and yet nobody really picks up on it or nobody takes it serious. And then, there's a trailer or something, and then it blows up, right? So it's always interesting. And yet, nope. So, we'll see where that goes with the She-Hulk. Oh, just press the window. But Face, I gotta ask, do you have any She-Hulk stuff, issue 1, or any spec value or investment stuff with She-Hulk?
Yeah, we've got a few issues. I can't remember offhand. I think we got I think she has number 1 and like number 40 somewhere.
What's
40? Like, no, 40 is not really a spec value book, but it's just one that people tend to chase after or whatever. So
what is 40? I don't think I know what
the jump rope.
Oh, I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah, it was just like a controversial issue. They have her jump roping for like the first.
Oh, yeah. No. Sorry, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah.
I think those are the two we have in boxes somewhere of the older stuff, and then probably a decent chunk of the newer run.
Why was it controversial again? I can't remember. Just because she was jumping rope, but wasn't it because she was like nude or something?
Yep, exactly.
I mean, in today's world, I don't know. So I think somebody was talking to me about that, where they were like, "Yeah, man, it's like up there with like Iron Man 128," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't think so."
Right.
Not the same thing. But yeah, you know what? Let's get the show going. We don't have Hyper, so we can't really do the chat road call or anything like that. But let's say hello to some people, and then let's get it going. Let's get it kicking. Dan, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Dan, ladies and gentlemen, will be on Spine Ticks this Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern.
Nice.
So, you are interested in seeing Dan again, which I hope you are. He's going to be on there.
The question is Dan gonna survive the whole show?
Yeah.
That's
Comic dude, what's going on, man? Fellow Canadian. Ayo, J2, what's going on, brother? Tricky Clicky, what's happening? Black Crown Comics. I mean, Face, you know him. You just had him on.
we just had him on last night. Yep. Great show last night with Black Crown joining us. It's awesome to have him on. We had a great time, you know.
Yeah, he broke the cherry, right?
Right.
Broke his
Definitely
YouTube.
gonna have him back again at some point for sure.
Yeah, I was listening in the background, and even when I was at work, and yeah, he's very knowledgeable, very solid dude. So yeah.
Hell yeah, good guy for sure.
Hopefully, we see him back on YouTube for sure, because
I'm pretty sure we will.
Yeah, he's a solid dude. I'm just trying to. My presentation just kind of shut down, so I was like, "Uh-oh."
Hey, no worries. I'm the king of technical difficulty, so fuck it.
Oh God, yeah. Miguel, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Yeah. We got Miguel, and yeah, not a lot of people in, as usual. But hey, if you're watching on the rewind back home or in the background, rather, hey, all to you. Thanks for tuning in. What's going on? So yeah, let's get the show started, because I really want to talk about some of these books. There's a lot of books in here that, well, I say a lot, but there's a few books in here that I kind of want to get a lot of insight on. I want to get other people's opinions, because sometimes it's easier to say, oh, this is the book. And, it's always nice to have other people's opinions. So
for sure. And she's a really underrated character, really slept on, never really got too huge as far as what she, her series did as in sales numbers.
Yeah.
So, definitely some value to be had there.
But it's like I said, right? Like, look at Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi, whatever you want to call it, right? Like, it was at a certain price point for a very long time, right? We knew the movie was coming out, this was coming out, and it was stagnant, like it was at a certain price for the longest time. The trailer drops and it just explodes. And I feel like the same thing is going to happen to Moon Knight. I think the same thing is going to happen to She Hulk. The She Hulk 1, I think, is a very undervalued book, to be honest, even now. So when she appears, I mean, even if it's just brief, I think it's going to explode a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So T-Bone, what's going on, man? How you doing? Spiders Comics. All right, let's get the show going. She Hulk Spec, Newbieverse Productions. Here we go. Book number 1. All right, Face. We got Savage She Hulk number 2. What is this? This is the second appearance of She Hulk. Next best thing. I don't know. I know a lot of people are on this like second appearance thing. Face, I know you're a big Origins guy, right? There's a lot of people who are like cameo people and things like that. But second appearances have taken not precedent, but like a lot more people are picking up, like, say, second appearances now. I'd say in the last like 12 to 18 months, it's been one of those things that, like, instead of going after an origin or after a cameo, everybody goes after that second appearance. This one I feel like could heat up after, that She-Hulk 1 just goes stupid. And I think it will. So yeah, this is not a bad book to get. I mean, I haven't come across this in a while, but I can't see this book not being out there. I mean, when you look at the price points from $5 to $25, and that's just taking it from eBay, where we know it's already like quadruple, I don't know what's after quadruple, but the prices are already like so high. I think you might be able to find some in the wild.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the really nice thing about this book is because, like you said, you're getting the second appearance here, and that price point, especially in comparison to what the first issue is going for. I mean, that's a fucking steal. So, if I'm definitely finding it in the wild for those prices, I would absolutely pick it up. I mean, you can't go wrong.
What's your opinion on second appearances now? Like, what's your thing? Like, what would you rather have?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm always going to go after the first appearance, or the cameos first or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, see, I one of those collectors that I just love comics in general. So I'm completely cool with second appearances. I'll pick them up. There's definitely nothing wrong with that, because there's validity to the fact that, like, a lot of these books are gonna just be, priced out for a lot of people. I mean, well, hell, they really are already in some cases. So yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with chasing down second appearances.
I am with Jay. I am a first appearance and origin kind of guy. Like, I just feel like those are the two winners.
They definitely have to be the preference, of course.
Yeah. I feel like when you get to certain characters like your Wolverine or your Spider-Man, maybe, the second appearance, just because of the ballpark in financial, money and things like that, where these characters are, worth. Like, look at Wolverine. I mean, Hulk 181, good luck finding it. Hulk 180 is at the point where it's like, okay, good luck finding that. Then you go to Wolverine 1. Well, it doesn't matter if you go to that limited series or like the solo. Those are getting priced out at like $1,000. Then people start going into, look at a book that became hot 2 months ago, was that Marvel's Presents, right? And now that's $1,000 book. So, like, for those characters, I can see why people would be like, oh, maybe I'm going to go after the second appearance, which I think that's going to explode too, right? But when it comes to these secondary characters, you know what I mean? Like, even I talked about Franklin Richards the other day on the Spec Show, and I said, I only have this book, his second appearance, because one, not a lot of people know about it, and two, that's a thing now. So, like, maybe be on the lookout for it and see where that takes you, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, the second appearance is not going to take preference over, obviously the first appearance, but more comparable, the cameos and the origin stories. Those are probably the ones that you're going to go after, first.
Yeah.
But like we said, once you get to that certain price point, and like you were giving really good examples there with Wolverine and everything like that. She Hulk, she's not so much into the range that, like, it's probably going to be one that you just run out and grab, like in the case you would of Wolverine if you found it for a deal. But yeah, $5 to $25 for that, you can't go wrong, because just given the fact that these books are getting fucking older, eventually there's going to be some value there. So
like, and I know this is about She Hulk, but like we just touched a little bit on Wolverine. But how long do you think? Like, let's be realistic here, because I see the names in the chat, and if you're watching, you guys probably know me, and you guys know the market and things like that. But let's look at Wolverine really quickly, okay? Because I want to give She Hulk her time to shine. When we talk about second appearances, at what point do we look at a Hulk 182 for that thing to blow up, right? Like, what are we waiting for in terms of, like, all those other books just getting to that point of being priced out, that people go, okay, maybe I'll go get his second appearance, right? Or is it just because of the fact that it's blurry on, like, what his first appearance actually is?
Well, I think with Wolverine, he's kind of one of those characters that, like, he's almost sort of a special case in his own, because you have obviously the first appearance, the cameo, and then you have his first mini series, his first solo series, the origin story. So there's a lot of more options there with him. But I'm sure if you look at the price of that second appearance, it's already it's already going up. Yeah, I think I was gonna say, I think his actual second appearance, I guess, would be Giant Size X-Men.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it might be a little priced out.
Never mind. Well, I have both books, so, like, I don't have to, I don't have to worry. But
right, you're good.
I didn't even mean to do that. I honestly and truly, I totally forgot about Giant Size, even though it's, like, right behind me. I totally forgot.
But actually thinking about that, no, yeah, you don't have to wait long. It's already priced out, newbie.
Yeah, you're gonna say shit. Okay, well, hey.
182
is good for those that own the yellow 180. Yeah, I guess you're right. And after you spent $10K on 181, what's 500? But yeah, I guess
exactly.
I guess you're right. All right, let's get back to She Hulk. So, second appearance, guys. Yeah, this is definitely a book. Not necessarily in the sense of, like, spec, but just one of those books to be on the lookout for when you're thinking about She Hulk. I mean, you guys always hear me say, history and numbers always correlate to what a market or how it's going to go. This one I feel is no different. And I think that they're going to be putting a lot of money and they're going to be pumping this one out a lot. Just, I don't want to give out too many details because of some other books that we have on the list. Just follow me here with this one, all right?
Got you.
Next book, we got Savage She-Hulk #9. This is the first appearance of Ultima. I think I pronounced it right. So it's a daughter of a cult leader. I could totally see it. I could totally see that being, her going up against not necessarily an organization, but like, and I put it there, perfect human enemy, perfect like organization of like a cult having to do it. This person is an enemy of She-Hulk already. We already know that. Raw copies sell anywhere between $3 and $20. A CBCS 9.8 sold February 27th for $174. Okay, and the fact that the last one sold at in February just goes to show you that like maybe not a lot of people are talking about it. And it goes back to like things that we always talk about is even though we know She-Hulk is coming, nobody is giving it respect. Why? Because we don't have a trailer. We don't have there's not a lot of pieces to fill, even though we know it's coming. So even when you see that 9.8 She-Hulk 1 going for base, you might need to correct me here, but I think it goes for like $800 to $900. As soon as there's a trailer, or as soon as we get that show, that thing's like a $2,000 book, $1,800.
Yeah, I'm actually not even sure what the current prices on it are, so I'll just assume that. Sure, that sounds good.
Right, but like, look at I always bring this back to Shang-Chi. Like a few, what was it, like maybe a month ago, right? Like that 8.0, it was $800 for the longest time. Trailer drops, the thing is like 1,800.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
there's money
happens overnight.
Things, right? So
yeah,
just saying. But this one, yeah. Savage She-Hulk #9. It's not the craziest cover. It's not one of the more appealing ones. I hate when they have that, win that 10 race speeder, or they have the Toys R Us thing. Like, it's just like, why? Like, it just ruins it, right? But definitely, when you start looking at enemies, and I get people are going to say, oh, well, they're going to follow this storyline and da-da-da. Sometimes they might say that, or it might come out like that, but they don't necessarily have to follow the comic word for word or whatever. You have to understand, too, like, I also don't think that they're going to bring in, like, the baddest villain for She-Hulk. Like, it's a series. It's clearly an experiment. So if it does well, obviously it's going to get better. So you can't just bring in, like, all these big guns and all these big enemies that She-Hulk has, or, like, bring in Fantastic Four or this, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of work here, and you have to understand it's experimental, this show, right? So what's a good way to bring in and try this out is bring in a human element enemy, you know what I mean? Like a cult leader. That's like something that we could like think about what's going on now with like everybody thinking that, oh, the governments are whatever and they're a cult and this and that. Like, it's got the dynamics that it could be a perfect fit, and it's cheap enough where even if you're spending $3 or $20, again, eBay prices, that out in the wild, they're going to be even lower than that.
Right. She-Hulk, being that she's such a kind of like I guess a slept-on character, or just one that doesn't necessarily get a whole lot of attention and everything like that. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what villains that they use for her in the series. This one, Ultima, she's kind of interesting because we know that She-Hulk is going to have like the legal setting aspect to it, and I think it's very possible that cult could somehow play into that. So and she doesn't really have like a whole plethora of villains that we're gonna see. Pretty cheap. I have a feeling that even that we're probably gonna get more than one season of She-Hulk. So even if it doesn't pan out in the first season, there's still potential down the road and everything. Because I just for some reason I like that idea of the cult leader and getting somebody suing the shit out of a cult and everything. Like I could just see that episode.
So could I. Like the whole show is her, you know what I mean? Like just fighting, that cult, or like what they're trying to do, like oppress whatever they're doing, right? Like it's just, like I said, I don't think that they're going to go huge on an enemy. I think it's very, experimental here, and they have to, I think kind of capture the audience. So what's the best way to do it? Like, you're not going to bring in your best villain or the best thing to She Hulk, which I don't even know who that would be.
Probably Titania, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking Titanium. I was, there's
Yeah, I mean,
like maybe I just don't see it happening. Like I feel like if it's a success, they're going to transition it, and maybe down the road it could be something that they do. But like to kick it off, I think that they're going to start very low on the totem pole of villains for her. So I thought this one when I was reading it, I was like, oh my god, and I was doing a bit more, kind of work on Ultima, and things like that. I was like, this could actually be like dope. This is like a perfect fit for what they're trying to do.
Right.
So
I think the thing with this is they'll probably bring in more than one villain that she'll face off with throughout the season, because it just seems like it's probably set up to be more that type of show with the legal drama and everything like that. So I don't think they're gonna give us the OJ trial. So you know what I mean? But who knows?
I just hope they don't do it too much. Like I don't want it to be too much on the legal side. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, give us like what Mark does, but like don't give me like if the show's gonna be like 50 minutes, don't give me 43 minutes of her doing all this legal stuff. Like I want to see action. I want to see like the relationships built and like the Mark Ruffalo and all that stuff happening.
Yeah, that's what and they are bringing him into the series. Well, I mean, obviously Roxanne's probably a pretty good play because we've seen signs of them showing up, but as far as one of the potential like corporate villains, but I want to say, man, I don't know, I feel like that cult leader episode for some reason it just sticks out on me as it could be a fucking hilarious episode, and I think they are trying to go that comedy route. I don't know why, I just kind of want to see that now.
I think it could happen, man. Don't sleep on this one if you pass it up.
I hope so.
I can tell you right now, I can assure you that if you go into your She Hulk section at your shop, there's probably going to be a lot of books. I don't think a lot of people even know a lot of these books are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Spine Tix, what's going on, man? And of course, I was saying it earlier, but Dan will be on Spine Tix. If you guys don't know where Spine Tix is or who they are, you're missing out. You got no excuses. Now you know. Go check them out.
Definitely.
All right. Next book. And, this is one that I talked about, I think around Christmas time. I brought it up. Not one of my favorite covers, but like it's kind of a cool cover.
I kind of like it.
I think you said that when we did it, but this one's got some importance here. And again, just looking at what's going on right now. Second appearances, team ups, first meetings of characters, or a character joining a team is a thing right now. Whether you believe it or not, I mean, if you look at sales and you look at what people are collecting, it's a thing.
Look at people spending money on Punisher and Moon Knight dancing.
Yeah.
So.
Remember after WandaVision, I forget why I put that in there. Oh my God.
Don't you hate that?
Oh, geez, that kills me. But anyway, raw copies of this book are no higher than $17 Canadian and a 9.6 best offer sold. I remember the price for this, but I forgot to put it. Was $108 because I actually knew the guy that bought it coincidentally. So this book is, I have never seen this book in the wild. So you probably have to do some digging, but again, She-Hulk joining the Avengers could have some potential. It could have some money value there. I wouldn't stack this book up. Like, I don't think this is going to be $1,000 book if you got like 100 of them. But I mean, if you're buying it for $2, why not?
Yeah, for sure. You know what? Even without any spec value, just for me personally, I would pick this up at that price point just because of the cover. I do like that cover, the headshots and everything. Yeah, the red kind of makes it pop and everything. So I would grab it just on that cover alone. But as far as the spec value, I mean, we pretty much know she's joining the Avengers. Like that's probably gonna come down the road. Yeah, I feel like we do. It seems like they're setting up the next phase of the Avengers for like characters that are sort of the successors to the first wave. You know, where we're getting Falcon, you know, sort of taking over the role of Cap. Let's see, I'm trying, you know, think of who else. They're probably going to do, you know, there's a lot of speculation in regards to what they're going to do with Iron Man and, you know, everything like that.
Riri Williams, man, what are you talking about? You don't know.
Right. Well, you know,
AI Tony Stark.
obviously she's coming. Exactly. So, you know, but that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of options there, and She-Hulk is kind of like a natural successor to Hulk. She's already joined the Avengers, so of course it's only a matter of time before she probably joins the Avengers.
Yeah,
in the MCU.
I think there's a bigger play with her. Like, and here's the thing though. Like, I said it. You know, team ups and things like that. They're kind of like right now. Okay, and what I mean by that is that's what's going on right now. Like buying second appearances, getting these like team ups. That's what's in right now. This show is slated to come out in like 10 to 12 months, right? So who knows what the market, who knows what the world, who knows what is going on at that time. So like, you know, when people talk about like, oh, well, the team ups, you know, that's the thing now. So like, let's get them all. Yeah, I mean, it would work if we're talking about a project that's coming out in like a month, you know, like 2 months. Yeah, you can see it. Trends, you know, I mean, if you talk to people who work in like economy and things like that and the statistics, they'll tell you, you know, like it's usually like a 3-month thing, right? Sometimes even less in anything, not just comics, right? Like the trends. So that's where I'm like kind of cautious on it. But again, like you said, Face, great cover. I love it. I always love the fact it always throws me off when Invisible Girl, like that's dope to me. Like I think that's so cool. So
just a blank spot, yeah, for sure.
So it's a great book. I just wouldn't stack it. I just think that there is some value in it.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, like I said, I just personally like the cover, would grab it on that alone. But yeah, she's most likely going to join the Avengers. Just because I have a feeling that when they get to, you know, whatever ultimately is going to be the, I guess, end game of the next, you know, series of movies.
Puns of Marvel movies? Like, what is this?
What's up?
What are you doing? Like puns of Marvel movies here? You're like, you know, the end
no. I mean, literally when they get to, you know, whatever. Yeah, whatever they get to, whatever the big end game, you know, type movie is, whatever that next, you know, big one is, they're gonna I just have a feeling you're gonna see pretty much everybody that they've toyed with throughout show up, you know. So
yeah. And I just want to say before we move on to the next book, big shout outs to everybody joining us. Big shout outs to Ultra Maximus. Come on, guys. If you don't know who Ultra is, make sure you guys go sub him. Help him out. Get the man to 1,000 subscribers. He does his Wednesday Maximus thing, you know, his new comic book day and things like that. So make sure you guys go check him out. One of the good guys in the community. You guys think I'm good at spec? This guy, like, just is on another level. So check him out.
Yeah, man. He breaks a lot of shit down really heavy in depth. It's pretty dope to watch the man work.
Yeah, you want to talk about variants. And like the art, dude. Like sometimes I have to like write it down like a screenshot what he posts because I'm like, oh shit, okay. I think I saw this one, so you know. But definitely make sure you guys go check out Ultra. He's got a lot of great information and he's very passionate about it. So
you
know, why not go to it? All right, next book. Yes, I think this is probably the best book to get right now. One, because it's super cheap, or it was actually. We talked about it on our spec show on Sunday, and somebody had said that the book is actually getting up to like $70 or $80. Now, I always tell you guys, I make my stuff like 2, 3. You know, this one was made a long time ago. I was just trying to find the right time to make this show or this presentation. I like to be, you know, well prepared and stuff like that. At the time that we did this, like the book was at $10 to $25. And of course, that picture came out, what was it, Face, last week? Of her, Mark Ruffalo, yeah. You know, they were, they had the CGI, right? And then everybody blew up.
They slapped them motherfuckers.
Yeah, but this, I mean, Hulk 282. You know, first team up of Hulk and She Hulk, and this is the first time they fight alongside each other. 9.4 restored, sold for $45 Canadian. I mean, we talked about it on the spec show. same information. I just thought that this one would be. I think this one's got a lot more room to grow just because of, again, what's going on with the trend, right? Like the team ups and all this and that. So
Yeah, this is okay. So Matt, I'm just looking at the prices. So you got the price point for a low grade and a restored. It doesn't even look like in high grade that it's really all that pricey yet. It looks like it's starting to get up there. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense that people are chasing it down. You know, first time you get the Hulk and She Hulk, you know, kicking the shit out of each other or whatever. So, I think there's obviously everybody's hoping that we're gonna see, you know, that play out in the series a little bit. I don't know if we will.
me either.
I really hope they do it though, but you know.
Here's my thought. I'm going to say it right now. Okay, so let's do it. So it is June 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go on a limb here and say Mark Ruffalo is probably in the last episode of this show. However, I mean, if the show is 6 episodes, he shows up in the last one. I guarantee you, he shows up in the last one. I don't think that they would just like leak that picture, post that picture of like, hey, Mark's in it. Like, it's just gonna make people think that he's in it throughout the whole thing, and I don't think so.
Yeah. It's hard to say what they're gonna do with him, whether he'll just be like a 1 episode guest star or if he will, you know, have a little bit of a role throughout. I can't see him being a constant presence in it because I think they would want to focus on She-Hulk, you know, for the most part.
That's what I mean. Like when I saw that, I was like, okay, I was excited because low key, I was, you know, I have like 2 copies of this book, but then I started thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense because one, like, if we only got 6 episodes of Captain America, right? And we're only getting 6 episodes in Loki, which they have way bigger, you know, way bigger stories and possibilities and, you know, like unanswered stuff. Like with the Captain America stuff, we had a lot of questions unanswered with like Sam, with Bucky, you know, there's a lot of shit that they could have done. Now you're bringing in She-Hulk. Like, I just don't see it being like, is it going to be a She-Hulk and Hulk thing? Or is it just going to be She-Hulk, right? And for those reasons, I was like, wait a minute. I think he'll probably show up at the end. Like, that'll be kind of like the big, you know, like, hey, I'm here to help, boom. And then they like kind of fight or whatever. So.
Right. Yeah, I just, as much as I love Mark Ruffalo, you know, playing the Hulk, not necessarily as big of a fan of the Professor Hulk version, but I do like Mark Ruffalo's version of him playing the Hulk in general. I personally don't want to see it focused on him as much because, yeah, they're introducing, you know, a new character. I mean, whether she is a Hulk or whatnot, she's still her own thing. She's got her own personality and everything going on. So,
this is a good question, by the way.
What's up?
This is a good question Phil has. He says, is COVID the reason the newer seasons are shorter?
You know, it's hard to say. It probably does play into it a bit, at least, I would think. I don't know if it's necessarily the sole reason that they're going with the shorter seasons, but yeah, I would imagine that definitely has to play a part in it because.
How many episodes did we get in WandaVision? It was 8, right? 8 or 9?
I think. Shit, I don't even remember. I think it was it 9? Fuck,
I thought it was 9, right?
Oh, I smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah, I thought it was 9, and that one had like a big possibility, right?
Yeah.
Captain America, I was okay with the 6. You know, like it could have been 7 or 8, but then, you know, you might have had like a lot of those a lot of those conversations in the back. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. The Loki one, I will be honest, I am very shocked that the Loki one is 6 episodes.
Yeah, it feels like it's, I mean, I know it's still early and everything, but it feels like it could be a pretty big storyline. But, you know, I mean, I guess they have plans to
because like
do it pretty quickly.
Like, the way I'm thinking about it is like, okay, 6 episodes. You got 6 episodes to show Mark Ruffalo, show the origin of this chick to the people that don't know anything about comics. Like, I don't think that they're gonna hit it on the nail with like, they're gonna open the first scene and like, you know, she's She-Hulk, everybody knows, and she has that power. Like, they're probably gonna have to go into an origin and things like that. So that's gonna probably take a while. Like, I
Yeah,
also
I mean, well, and that makes sense because of with them bringing in Mark Ruffalo. He plays very heavily into her origin. So
it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. What I'm waiting for is Red Hulk versus Red She Hulk. That's something nobody's talking about. So
that might be a couple episodes down the road, but
or like Yellow She Hulk versus Immortal Hulk versus Immortal. No, I'm just being stupid now.
yeah, they're getting there.
You never know.
We got to cycle through all the different variations of the Hulk.
Yeah. So, do you own this book, by the way, or no?
I do not own that one.
All right. I figured, with the red, you might be a fan. So.
No, actually, I need to pick that one up at some point. Probably should do that soon, but I'll probably actually just wait until after the season and everything and it starts to come back down a little bit, and then just grab it.
Yeah. All right. Next book. We've got She Hulk #3 with a homage to Iron Man. I know I put it a knockoff, but no, it's a homage. So the important thing about this is I'm trying to connect a lot of things here. First appearance of Mr. Ouroboros and Mr. Paradox. I don't even know if I said that first name right, but that's what I'm going to go with.
Ouroboros.
They're clones of the TVA. Well, what's TVA? Well, if you missed Loki the first 2 episodes, you probably don't know what the TVA is, but TVA is 3 letters that have been super popular, super big the last 2 weeks due to the fact that Loki has just been killing it. So for those reasons, I thought, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? Maybe there could be a tie-in. I'm still on this whole thing of the Loki thing is gonna okay. Somebody had told me this, and I know this might get off topic here, but somebody was like, "Newbie, think about this. Why do you think that Doctor Strange is called the multiverse or the madness of the multiverse or multiverse of madness, right, or something like that?" And they go, "Dude, it's because all the timelines are messed up or all the multiverses are messed up, so you're gonna have like cross coming in and out." And I was like, "Wait a minute, that actually makes sense. Like if you think about it, like." What if like some of these shows or some of these movies kind of connect somehow because of how crazy the timeline is, and like you got Loki running around and just all this stuff. So I thought, wait a minute, this one could be something. Add the fact that it's TVA. I mean, anything TVA right now, I think, is a smart play. Like a smart risk, right? Because that's what it is. But here's the problem. The book is a ghost. Like, there's not many copies of this out there. I haven't seen any in the wild, and on eBay you don't find a lot.
Yeah, I'm actually lucky. This is one that I do have. And it first of all, it's a great cover by Greg Horn. I mean, it's awesome. That man kills it. He's a hell of an artist, and anytime he's drawing She-Hulk, it's worth picking up. He's got a few other ones that are definitely dope too. This is a really good book, I think, spec-wise for She-Hulk, because I don't know that they're gonna play out this storyline with the TBA and everything like that exactly. Like it went with the comics and everything, but you almost have to feel like at this point even if it's not going to be like the main focus of the season or anything like that, like, and who knows, it could be, you feel like they're going to at least touch on it and everything, just to kind of tie things together and everything, so like it would make sense to see this basically show up and everything like that. I've actually been trying to pick these up whenever I come across them, and like you said, it's not very often. So
no, if you go on eBay, like I don't even think you'll see it, and if you do see it, like you're buying the whole set, I think, right? Like I think that's how they're kind of like selling it. Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, it's I think I have like 3 copies of it, and it's taken me probably a fucking year to get out, just because it is a pain in the ass to find.
I also thought it was kind of funny because I got asked, because Roger from 3 Men in the Basement, he collects a lot of the ASM 300 homages, right? Somebody had asked me, they go, "Hey, do you collect the Iron Man 100 homage?" And I was like, no. And that's kind of how we started talking about this book like a while back. And I was just like, man, I think it would be kind of cool to kind of have that. Like I was thinking of like Roger, and I thought, okay, like I didn't really pick up like Roger. I mean, think about how many times that book, has been, like his, right? Where like the Iron Man 100. I mean, there's not many. I could probably pick them all up. Just you start looking at this one, and it's a fucking ghost.
Yeah, I mean, see, and that's the thing too. Like, yeah, oh man, you almost have to feel a bit bad for him because like you just know that when he went into it and he decided that he was going to collect all those homages, he probably didn't think that he was ever going to see anywhere near the number of them that are out there today. But fuck, man, he's got a hell of a collection of them. And yeah, there is a shit ton of those homages. But yeah, luckily with like Iron Man 100, you wouldn't have to worry about going after a whole lot of them. So
no,
if you see for the newbie collection,
if you see this in the wild, I would pick it up. I really would. Again, I don't have any information on like prices. It's a ghost, which means, a lot of people want it or they're hoarding it or there's not many of them, which makes the price, higher. But you might find somebody might sell this one for nothing.
And I will say that's something else that's, I guess, kind of a thing with this one. The three of them that I have gotten at very different prices. So
it's an interesting one. It's one to be on the lookout for sure. Comic Journey saying it's a great cover. The Iron Man 100 homage personally means nothing to me. Yeah, no,
not everybody's an Iron Man fan.
Exactly, and that's the thing, right? Like when you start talking about homages, like there's a few books that I'm like, I say the same thing. Like people are like, man, that's like a whatever, huh? And I'm like, I could care less. So I get it. It just means a little bit more, I guess, or an extra because I'm the Iron Man guy. So
right. But that TVA connection is pretty,
if I see it, going to Canada.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, hey, man, hey, I appreciate it. We can talk, but yeah, that means a lot, man. Claim, come on. No, come on. All right, let's go on to the next book. And guys, I do want to warn you. So this presentation, like there was only, I think, like 8 or 9 books that we were going to talk about. And it's going to be one of those shorter shows. But once we're done this, we're going to talk a little bit about Loki to get ready for the episode. And then, that's it. It's not going to be a long show. So hopefully you guys are still tuning in. But yeah, Newbie made me fall. Dude, this one is one of them, man. Yeah.
But that's the beautiful part because they don't all have to be, extremely long shows or anything like that.
No.
We can have a short one every now and then.
Yeah, of course. And it's no knock on She Hulk. It's absolutely no knock on She Hulk. It's just, there's a new series. These are just books that, we thought we would put out there. But again, like there's not much. I think there'll be more down the road, 100%. But just, for right now, I think it's a little small just because of the fact that it's going to be very experimental, right? With who they bring in and what they do because they want to put a good product out there, but they also don't want to put all their aces in one bag, right? So. Is that the term? Is that the saying? Put all the aces in one bag.
Eggs in a basket.
Yeah, that eggs, aces, whatever, man. Just is what it is.
Whatever works. Whatever creams your Twinkie, bro.
Next book, Avengers 144, first appearance of Hellcat. Hellcat, somebody that could show up to fight alongside her, fight against her, be her friend, whatever. 9.8 sold for $2,400, and then a CGC 9.0 sold for $175 Canadian best offer. So you see the huge price difference there between a 9.0 and a 9.0, a 9.8 and 9.0. This one I put on there. A few people who I was talking to were like, "Man, have you ever looked at this book? What do you think about it?" So I kind of put it out there on there. I'm not sure I'm on this one. You know what I mean? Like, Hellcat, I just don't know. And I'm also not on the price. Like, no offense to Hellcat. I'm going to tell you right now, I have never met somebody in my comic life that I said, Newbie, one of my top 50 characters is Hellcat. I've never heard that in my life. So I don't know.
50?
I don't
top
know.
50?
Yeah.
Oh man, I got her at like 53.
You know what I mean? So like I don't know where that kind of takes you, but I mean, there's no way in hell I would pay $2,400 for this. I would put that money into like Moon Knight, Punisher. Like there's just so many more books, but
You know, see, so this one's kind of interesting because, I mean, obviously there's a connection there with her and She-Hulk and everything like that, and they could definitely have her pop up in the series, you know, a surprise guest star or something like that. But I wonder what they're doing with the character because I know that they some of the characters, Charlie Cox, I guess, is coming back from the Netflix stuff, and I believe Kristen Ritter is too, right? The woman that played Jessica Jones. I think
yes,
she's
yep.
yeah. So I'm wondering if they're gonna have, you know, the woman that played Trish Walker, Hellcat, in the Jessica Jones series come over too. I wonder how that'll work out. I mean, it seems like if you know if they're gonna bring Kristen Ritter back, why not? So, and if they do that and she shows up, you know, by surprise in She-Hulk with without an announcement, well, you know, you've seen what happened to White Vision and
Yeah.
um Contessa and you know everything like that.
Yeah,
So
but out of all those, I think that White Vision has a lot more room to grow than all of those. Right
well, I
now,
hope it doesn't have
like,
any more room to grow. It's fucking overpriced as it is.
yeah, but okay, think about this. When we were still on WandaVision, even a few weeks after WandaVision, 9.8 was still at the price point of a New Mutants 98. Now
Yeah.
you go look at it, it's like $600 for a 9.8. All he has to do is show up again. That's a $1,200 book, $1,500 book. He just has to show up one time, and that thing is like exploding again. So,
and he will. You know they're gonna bring him back. I don't think Paul Bettany's done playing Vision. He seems to enjoy it. So
no. Chad saying I'd rather buy a Hellcat book than a Moon Knight book.
Not a fan of Moon Knight, clearly.
Woo. Damn. Wow. What's wrong with Moon Knight? You're gonna.
Right. Some people just don't like certain characters and everything. So
you're about to find out. Yeah, I don't know, Face. I'm not really a fan of this one. I put it on the list because, yeah, like she's got some correlation. She has some relationships with She-Hulk and things like that. But yeah, the price point, I'm like, yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, it's an outside shot that she might show up and everything. Like, and if she does, it'll blow up. But I feel like this is almost essentially it'd be kind of akin to buying a lottery ticket. It'd also almost be one of those things too, where if she did show up, you'd almost want to sell that bitch immediately. I think, just to get the value the max value that you can out of it, because I mean, Hellcat's a cool character and everything for sure, but she's kind of like a C-lister, I guess.
If that.
Point. So
if that's being nice, man.
There is some age with this book though and everything. I mean, of course it's a classic. So
yeah. Well, hey, if you guys find it cheap, there you go. Don't forget, Iron Man is on the cover as well. Just saying.
I'm sure that's a selling point for some people. He does look like he's in a great position too.
This one, we talked about it on the Spec Show. I was going to say not too long ago, but we did talk about it like many, many, many moons ago. And I'm sure some other people have as well. But let's again talk about what is going on in comics right now. First team ups, a character joining a team, first meetings. That is kind of a thing right now. It's a trend. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's fine. That's totally up to you. If you pay your taxes, you're entitled to an opinion. That's kind of how the world works. If you don't pay your taxes, well, shoot, I don't know. But again, She-Hulk joins Fantastic Four. Now, this one I think has more value than She-Hulk joining Avengers. And that's why I was kind of stayed quiet on a few things, Face, when you were like, yeah, she's going to join the Avengers. I think this is like, I don't want to say the money book, because like I don't think this is $1,000 book by any means. You never know, but her joining the Fantastic Four, that's a big deal. And I think, not to say that one of the Fantastic Four is going to go away, I think they could just hang out as like 5 or whatever. But I think this book is something. Raw copy selling anywhere between $3, no higher than $10. A CGC 9.8 sold for $160 best offer. That's pretty cheap for a 9.8 and something that's going on right now. Who's to say, like if there's just the littlest hint at like Fantastic Four in this show, or like the littlest hint at like she knows one of the characters, just something. Not saying Fantastic Four is going to show up, but just the fact that if there's just the littlest hint, you know what that's going to do? It's going to drive those people who make those videos of like 600 Easter eggs you missed on this episode, right? And then they're going to talk about it, and that drives up the book, and that could drive up this one with her joining the Fantastic Four in the end, or if they ever team up, whatever the case may be. So it's a book to be on the lookout for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible you'll see some spikes if they reference the Fantastic Four in the episode. With some kind of Easter egg like that. You always see them little spikes and everything. That we know the Fantastic.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, no.
Absolutely.
I hope it didn't come out like I didn't know. I'm just saying, like, if they were introduced at some point or like referenced in the show and things like that. That's all I meant.
If you look back at like WandaVision, I think there was a little spike in like Grim Reaper's first appearance, after that first episode when his helmet was there, just because people thought they were going to see him or whatever. And, if there is some little Fantastic Four Easter egg or whatever in the background, you could see some kind of a little spike on this or whatever. It's possible. It's one of those books. It's like I would call it like a minor, Fantastic Four key and everything. So it's cool to have in your collection for sure, especially at that price point on a raw copy. I kind of put it in the same vein as like when they did that new Fantastic Four with let's see, it was Ghost Rider, Wolverine. I think who else was in that shit? Hulk and like.
I thought it was Spider-Man. Spider-Man was in there.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man was there too. I put it in like the same vein as those. Those are just kind of cool little Fantastic Four keys to have. As far as the possibility of her joining and everything, I mean, I think there's, I guess, a small chance they could do something down the road. I definitely don't think we'll see it in like the first few movies or anything like that they do with the Fantastic Four. No. But down the road, they could do something with it where they, throw her in there for, a cameo or something like that. They could do a storyline or a whole movie. Who knows? It's possible.
I just wish, like, looking at this, I wish I had every key of Fantastic Four.
Yeah, well, you're a Fantastic Four guy, so I'm sure you do.
I always thought that this cover was kind of cool and stuff like that. Just the way it is, like, kind of not like her view, but like, it's got the view of like what they're saying and stuff like that. So I just think it was kind of a cool cover always. And her joining the team, I just think that adds a lot of value later on. Again, it's spec, it's a gamble, it's all those things. I think,
I definitely like it for the raw price for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm pretty sure you can find this because, like, I would guarantee 90% of people don't know what this book is.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe higher than 90.
And even slabbed, it's not super expensive or anything like that. But some people don't want to spend $160 on it. I mean, take $3 to $10. Fuck, that's not bad at all. So
man, there's some. I'm just gonna make this point out there. There's some keys out there, like some books that like I've talked about, and I'm not gonna name specifics. There's books out there that I've talked about that I've collected in some of my videos in recent memory, and I'm looking at some of the prices on eBay for them in like 9.8s and stuff like that, and I'm like, how the hell is this book $300? Like, you can find it all day in a dollar bin for like 50 cents or $1 in pristine condition, and people are out here like in a 9.8 selling it for like $300-400, where like the spec and like everything is like so many moons away. Like, I'm talking like, there's this one X-Men book where I'm like, I'm picking it up now because I'm specking for it for like 2-3 years down the road. And yet people here are like selling the 9.8 for like, $300-400. I'm like, what? Like, that's insane to me.
Yeah, see, I'm not gonna lie. In that type of thing, I'm very blessed because I have like I will always generally look for raw copies before I'll ever go for anything slab, because I have complete and total faith in my girlfriend's ability to fucking create a comic.
Yeah.
Like she's she's awesome, and she's on point with it, man. Like, so she's every time we've sent off to CGC, man, she's been spot on. So she's way harsher than I am in
I used
grading.
to be like very like I say used to be, but it's just because like as many of you guys know, like Ontario's been locked down since last week, right? Everything's open last week, but like I've been working like a madman, so I haven't even been out yet, right? And yeah, I used to be really good at grading. I had a lot of people ask me to like look at their books and stuff like that, and like I was impressed. I really was. There was a lot of books I sent out where I was like, oh, this is 9.4. And they came back 9.6, right? And there was a lot of 9.6s where I was like, or 9.8s where I was like, oh, this is like a 9.6, right? So like I always undervalue it. I've always, I can never look at a book and be like, yeah, it's a 9.8, because I don't want to put that mindset in my mind. So
right.
it's Dan's saying this that should be the subject of a future show. Raw copies versus slabs, 100%. I think
it's definitely worth talking about for sure.
Yeah, you can talk about that. Yeah, 100%. Wizard Rank, we're still on the Moon Knight. Wizard Rank Moon Knight, the 149th greatest superhero.
That is surprisingly fucking low.
I think that might
or
change.
high, however you want to look at it.
I think it might change.
Yeah, after the movie probably drops, like if Wizard was still a thing and did that ranking, I'm sure that it would probably readjust, because he has that novelty right then and there. So, but it's kind of one of those characters that like for us hardcore comic book fans and everything like that, obviously we're sitting here watching YouTube videos and making YouTube videos and shit. We know who Moon Knight is, but there's a lot of general comic fans that he's kind of one of those characters that's like under the radar. Like, they don't really pay a whole lot of attention to Moon Knight. So
yeah. So we'll see. What's going on, Coco? Thanks for tuning in, brother. Yeah.
definitely.
Just saying, guys, this one, be on the lookout for it. All right. She Hulk #1, 3rd series. This is important because supposedly the 3rd series kicks it off. This is the book that, if you don't know what it is, this is what everybody thinks the show is going to be based on, is this series right here. Possible Daredevil coming in. He shows up in the series, so who knows? The fact that they're lawyers, that's a good possibility. I think a lot of Daredevil stuff with that might spike. Who knows? Is there a book where it's like She-Hulk and Daredevil meet? Because I think like that could be a good book.
There is.
I'm sure there is too. But I think that could be something. Yeah, there had to be. There is a rare 3rd print of this book where it's green, like the bottom where it says Marvel now. That's all green. So if you come across that one, you got some gold. Raw copies of the 1st print though are going for $15 to $20. So basically the same price as like a successful book, right? When we talk about that, when we talk about successful books, I mean, look at when a book comes out on New Comic Book Day. Like I judge those on if the book can make it to $20 to $25. I think that's a successful book. This is selling at $15 to $20. It's a successful book, but it's also one of those books you can't really find alone. You almost everybody that I checked on eBay is selling it in the set.
Right.
It's a little pricey. So that's where you have your problems. There have been some of those 3rd prints on eBay. It just depends on, kind of putting that cash out there for a book like this.
Yeah, obviously if it does end up playing out, that they sort of I guess follow this storyline in the series, then obviously people are going to chase it down. There's going to be spikes there and everything, and it does look like there's that a reasonable chance that it if it's not going to be the entire storyline, it'll play a part. I like the the stuff with Daredevil because he's tailor made for the show to show up and everything like that. You know, another lawyer. So why wouldn't they bring him in? It's a natural fucking connection. You know, so yeah, and it's again She-Hulk on a lot of these keys that aren't the original series. They still tend to have relatively good price points, especially for raw copies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good book to have. It's a good book to have.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're going on it, I just wouldn't spend $100 on this or anything like that. Also,
Right.
don't think that you're going to get like $1,000 in return for this book. It's just not going to happen for you.
Yeah. I wonder what the print run is on that third print, man. That's got to be pretty low, I would think.
There's a few people in the chat who I know do a lot of number work in the game of comics, so maybe they could help us out. But yeah, this one,
it can't be high. So,
Chad, quick question for Newbie and Face: if you were single, would you do the dance with no pants with She-Hulk?
I'm gonna risk it, bro.
Look, she's a lawyer, so I mean, if I get her pregnant, I mean, my kid's set for life. So.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and risk it. I mean,
yeah.
But if I'm gonna die from it, it's a hell of a way to go out. So
keep in mind, she's 6'7" and weighs 650 pounds. Canadian. Man, get the hell out of here.
It's in Canadian, so you're good.
Weight doesn't change. If you're 300 pounds in the U.S., you're gonna be 300 pounds when you get here. So. Ultra's saying that the second is actually a lower print run.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's something to keep in mind, too, if you find that second print.
Print run is 50,168.
On the third print? Holy fuck. Oh, okay. That's the first print. I got you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Damn, that second print is fucking low as hell. Wow. That is insanely low for a Marvel comic.
So what's the third print then? Why is it more rare? Why isn't the second print rare?
It could be one of those things, man. Just sometimes the timing of when they do like FOC on some of those issues and everything gets a little fucky. So,
YOLO. No, Dom, we got to talk because I got to make some trips and we're going to go hunting together. So
you got to just cruise.
Yeah, he's in my area, so yeah.
There you go.
Ultra saying the third is over 5K. So yeah, damn, I gotta look at.
There's probably something there that like the FOC just kind of passed or something without people realizing it, or whatever. So
here's the thing: I think that this is a smart book that I wouldn't put too much money into it, but if you can find it, I would obviously read it. I would read this series. Because if you're really banking on the show being like this, you're probably going to be A, ahead of the game, and B, you're going to be able to like kind of connect a few dots that, like I said, you would be ahead of the game. So you might find something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, this book is kind of funny. It was probably I'm going to say 3 or 4 months ago now. At our LCS, we were going through some bins or whatever, and they must have had like fucking 10 copies of this in there. We only grabbed 2 of them, one for me and one for her, but yeah, they must have had like 10 of them in there, and
damn, man,
they didn't last long once they put them out, man. They went quick. We grabbed our 2 once we saw them, and by I think if it wasn't the week after, like it was like 2 weeks later, they were gone. So
I think this one, oh no, we got this one. So we got She-Hulk #2. First team appearance of the law office of Jennifer Walters. So we got Hellcat. Man, I butchered this one. Hung and She-Hulk. Only, it's a ghost in the sense that, again, you're only finding this in sets. You're not finding this individually. Second print is very rare. I don't know what the second print looks like. And again, maybe Coco or Ultra can let us know about those numbers. But yeah, the second print in this one is rare. Go figure. I'm not a fan of the cover though. I got to be honest. I'm not a fan of the cover.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that, like, I mean, it's an interesting concept, that they did there with the panels and everything like that. I just, it's okay, I guess. It doesn't really do a whole lot for me on the cover but that law offices of Jennifer Walters, you just feel like that's almost got to play into the fucking show. That's going to be a lawyer show. So, you know, um, it's one of those books. Like it seems like it's going to be a natural spike there because like for instance, first episode, they show that sign or that placard on the door. It says specifically law office of Jennifer Walters. There's going to be people out there that probably want to chase it down and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've got it and you're trying to sell it, that would probably be the time when you would want to sell it, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you 100%. All we have to do is do that.
And then so if you find a couple copies between now and then, shit, scoop them up.
I can guarantee this is in like multiple bins because like I don't think people know what this is. I would bet 95% of people don't know what this is. So.
Right. But I'm sure that it once the word gets out and everything like that, that's when you see those little spikes and everything. And of course they.
Boom. So that is it for She Hulk stuff, guys. Again, it's a year away, maybe 10 months away. So we kind of just wanted to get ahead of the curve and just kind of educate some people on some books that outside of the She Hulk one. Maybe to be on the lookout for. Maybe you'd be surprised at what you know. I mean, the more educated you are and the ahead of the game you are, you might find a few treasures. Not to say that these books are going to be $1,000 or $10,000, but you know how the spec game works. You find it cheap enough, it does something, and then guess what? You make a few bucks. So if you can find like 10, 15 copies of something near mint, you have a big book right there. It gets back to the whole patience and things like that. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, She Hulk, she's a cool character and everything, but you're not gonna, like you said, you're not gonna see any a lot of $1,000 books or anything by any means. Obviously, or the first appearance and everything like that's candidates, but outside of those, there's gonna be some minor keys and some nice little flips and everything that we'll see throughout the series. But I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to blow up super huge in the way of like, for instance, obviously, again, the best example, White Vision.
Yeah,
it was really the one that really took off. I mean, wow, yeah, that shit was just wow. How that one blew up.
Dom is saying, is it possible to have her office in the same building as Matt Murdock?
That would be cool if they do it for sure.
I think you might be able to, when this show kicks off, like the first or second episode, you might be able to go back to Daredevil and maybe kind of connect some dots, with like the building or like just something. You might be surprised.
Well, I think they're actually intending to completely disassociate everything that the Netflix series did. So
yeah,
you probably won't find a lot of correlation there. Like I feel like what they're gonna end up doing. Maybe not as directly as they did, but they'll sort of give it the old Agents Shield act that they gave, in that first episode of Loki, where they were basically like, yeah, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I wanna before we kind of get off here, I want to bring this up and
you do you, bro.
No, not like that, man. Get off. I just want to ask you, I know it's not sold listings, but, here we go, 9.8s, $1,800. And then these prices are Canadian, guys. So $1,800 for a 9.8. A 9.8, like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, were not $1,800. Again, once she shows up, goddamn well that first week, if it's going for $1,800 now, this is easily a $2,500 book. Dare I say $3,000 book with how it's going?
I mean, it's possible for sure. Just looking at those prices and the fact that they're still a year away.
Dude, I was whatever. If one of them $600, like, look at this. I didn't know that. Like, look at the first book. I saw that and I was like, you know what? I could probably make a play at $600 for a 9.8. And then I started seeing that it was a bid. I'm like, holy shit.
Right.
But look at the prices, man. You're looking at almost 1,800 plus.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, regardless of whatever it's at as far as the sold listings, I mean, yeah, there's a year between now and She-Hulk. So, and especially once the series actually hits, of course it's going to go up. The question is, with the way that things are in the hobby right now, we know that there's dips after the series and everything like that, and I imagine that will always be the case. But you just have to wonder exactly how much of a dip are you going to get. Maybe I kind of feel like we're not going to see as big of dips as we used to for a little bit. So we'll see.
That's why I'm scared, like in the sense of like, not scared, but like that's why I kind of make these predictions where like, sometimes people are like, newbie, what are you talking about with the prices, right? But like, okay, let's be real here. We know she's coming. Again, let's look at Shang-Chi, let's look at Eternals, all this stuff. We already knew all this stuff was coming out. If a 9.8 right now, today, is selling at, let's say, $1,800, this book, when she shows up, when she's popular, when she's in our face, that's a $3,000 book. That's a $2,500 to $3,000 book in a 9.8.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking at those prices, yeah, I can't argue with you.
Yeah.
So
I was, dude, I passed this book up at a 9.8 when it was $300. You got to be out of your mind if you think I'm going to be paying $800 or $1,800 now. Like, there's no way. I would never. I could really care less. She-Hulk is not in my top 100 characters that I like.
So just 103. She just sits at 103. Yeah, I mean, it's just hard for me to personally validate the price point, because I know that there's other books out there at that or around that price point that I would grab first. But I'm not the biggest She-Hulk fan in the world either. So
like at this price, you can get a 3.0 ASM 129.
Yeah.
And I
think we have one on one of the shows that was at almost exactly that.
Yeah, I think that's more valuable than this. But again, I don't know.
But it's hard to say too, because a lot of it will matter how much the character and the portrayal resonates with people. If people love her portrayal and everything like that, you could see it blow up a lot more too, potentially.
Now, just to give you a picture, I'm going to paint a picture here for you. 9.6. Yeah, there's one for $764 plus the $60 shipping, so you're looking at $820. But let's look at the other ones. I mean, you're looking at a book that in 9.6 is already like selling. Look at this, $1,000. Let's say 1,100 with shipping and all that. 42 people watching it. That's a lot of people watching it.
Was that that first one? Was that a bid, or was that the
No, that's straight up. That is like buy it
now. Okay.
So
I mean, damn, still 800
book though. So like that's why I wouldn't necessarily go 9.6 for this.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. Like there's so many. I know tons of people that like on their IGs have pictures of this where they have like, I don't know, 30 copies of this, because it's like P. Keela saying, people are hunting this thing like years ago, and there were so many,
for sure.
And it was worth like nothing. Even like a year and a half ago, it was worth nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean.
$800. That's a lot better, definitely, than fucking 18. But damn, I still feel like $800. I have a few other books that I would grab before I would go ahead and grab that. She-Hulk.
Even this 9.6, man. Like, I would rather take my chances on buying like 3 copies of Astonishing X-Men 6 in a 9.8 than buying this. That's what I would seriously do. That book is $600. I buy 3 copies at $1,800 and watch that thing explode.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The other thing too is it's from 1980, so it's not all that old.
No.
So I mean, I would imagine that there's probably still copies out there raw that are in pretty good condition you could still find too. So that seems like that would probably be more the way to go for me personally. But
yeah, this is just crazy. I wouldn't spend this money on this.
that's the thing, man. Like, honestly, I feel like one of the best things that you can do in this hobby is to honestly invest in yourself and learn as much as you can about grading and identifying flaws in your book and everything like that, and you'll save yourself a fortune.
I agree with you, Face, 100%. Ultra saying, by the way, direct is less common than newsstands for this book.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because you said 80. 80 is, yeah.
Yeah, I think 85 is where it started to turn around, somewhere in there.
I think P. Keel is going to argue with you, Face. 1980 is pretty damn old, dude.
I mean, it's not. It's definitely not Action Comics old.
I'm just waiting for somebody to be like, yeah, I remember getting Action Comics 1 off the rack. Like,
right.
I was buying those things on the cheap, and it's like, well, what's cheap?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I can't really argue. P. Keel's right that it is getting up there, in 1980, but in comics, it's not that old. You should still be able to find some halfway decent copies because as comic collectors, we protect our shit.
Yeah, so. Yeah, 100%. They're invests. Some of it's an investment. Some of it, is books we like or we want or we've wanted our whole lives, and
right.
That's what it is. I know, like, my big book is Tales of Suspense 39, Toss 39. That's what I call it. But in order to buy that book one day, eventually, you have to make smart plays, and sometimes it's going after these smaller spec books and doing like what Face said, like understanding what the grade is and understanding the condition of a book. So when you find it in the wild for like $1 to $3 and you see like 20 of them, you buy them and you take care of them. And then when it's time for those books to shine, well, guess what? They're 9.8. You bought them for like $2, but now they're selling at $50. You do that over 10 times over and over and over. Well, guess what happens? Now you got one of your big books, right? And a lot of people fail to realize that you can do that in the hobby.
Yeah, for sure. Do me a favor, highlight that comment that Ultra Maximus just said, because that shit is so true.
It's the same if you were day trading, but way safer than crypto.
Yeah, they're talking in chat. Like this hobby, it can be it's almost like a job. I mean, I see a lot of the guys in the chat and everything like talking about it, constantly doing research and everything. And I'm the same way, constantly doing research.
You have
looking up
the comic community, the comic world, everything changes daily. And I think, it's a snowball effect, right? Like somebody says something, and I always joke about it. Face, this, a few people in the chat who know me and we talk, you guys know, when somebody posts something, I'll joke around and be like, oh my God, the character's wearing a black jacket and there's a purple background. Gambit confirmed. Like everybody does that. And every morning that you wake up, it could change. It's just like the stock market. Exactly. Things change overnight. Things change daily. What's a trend now? It might not be a trend tomorrow. Things like that. You gotta be careful. It's a lot of money in this comic hobby, man. So you gotta save your money and you gotta be good with it, because I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. There's absolutely, there is risk involved, but like these guys in chat are saying, about constantly doing research and everything like that. If you're doing it and you are investing in yourself as much as you are your own hobby, and like learning how to grade and everything like that, that's the way to do it, and that's the way to improve your personal collection. So
yeah. This is interesting because P. Keel saying, I can sell 10 $1,000 books before I sell a one book worth 10,000, and that's absolutely right. Yeah. I'm not trying to talk about finance, but a lot of people are cashed out at a certain number, right? Everyone's different, but when you do that over and over again, in the sense of perfect example, infamous Iron Man 1. I was picking that book up when it was like $2 and nobody gave a fuck about it. And then it blew up and it was selling at like $50 to $80. Well, if you were like me picking it up and you had like 20 copies, do the math, right? You sell that at like 50 to 80 bucks a pop. At the end of the day, if you had patience, right, and you believed in your spec, well, guess what? Now you have a big book, right? Like you take that money and you put it in a big book, right? And that's how a lot of people do this, where they go after those big grails, right? It can be done, but again, the one thing I think that is very hidden, and and I'm guilty of it too. I'm very guilty of it, is patience, right? Like there's not many books that I can buy today and cash out like tomorrow or by the weekend. Like there's a lot of patience that goes in it. You can't, rush it, right?
Right, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things. And again, Ultra Maximus right there. Yeah, another great comment. Because that is something that you have to consider too whenever you're doing this in this hobby and everything like that. There is a fine line where you have to consider, is it worth your time and effort? For some people,
the right book though, the right book. I get what Ultra's saying.
Right.
I totally get it. Yeah. I don't know if I would buy like, 100 books at like $2 just to make 4. Like I get it's
right.
double, right? But like all that work that goes into it. Now, if I can buy
exactly.
10 books at $5 and they go to 80, like Infamous Iron Man, well, then I'm a player. But again, you gotta have that patience to wait. Like, people like Mel V, Lucas, all those people who were, thorough, who were on that Infamous Iron Man thing like 3 years ago. That's 3 years of waiting, of it being in your, your PC and actually like gaining all that in order to see that profit, right? So again, it just goes into profit. And I think where a lot of people mess up is like they buy a book, they hold it for a month and they're like, fuck, I want to get rid of this, right? And they sell it at like a fraction of what they bought. So
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's that's the word for you see a lot of people too. Like I think one of the best examples that I can think of is like Mephisto. This is a perfect example of I guess it's I don't want to say a right and a wrong way, because there really is no wrong way. But the thing is, like, a lot of people, went out and grabbed Mephisto before WandaVision on speculation that he might show up there and everything like that. And then when he didn't, a lot of those people got real impatient with it and started dumping off that book. But Mephisto is a pretty big villain. So, there's a good chance that somewhere down the road, we're going to see him. And then those people that bought that, and when he didn't show up, sold it and didn't really recoup their money or, whatever, they're going to be kicking themselves because they just didn't have the patience to, wait. So,
yeah, it's true.
This is one of those hobbies where you do got to have a little bit of patience with it. So
yeah,
it's not exactly like sports cards where you're going to see that character blow up in his rookie season or something like that. Sometimes you got to wait a little bit with comics.
Before we leave, I got something I want to show you guys.
I thought you wanted to get into Loki.
I guess my parting words is, if you're too broke to buy comics, visit your local library.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I tried to
just get us out of here. Just get us out of here. Oh, that is classic.
Kills me. No, we were gonna talk Loki, but I'm gonna save it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it. So I got some news. I got an announcement. I need to make. It's not actually that exciting or anything like that. So nobody, breath. I can just picture people being like eating their popcorn, like. No, it's not that big. I was kind of like, hazing, hyper, keys, and face that I had a big announcement to make. But here it is. So you guys know I go Sundays and Tuesdays, 9:30 or 9:35 p.m. Eastern time. This Sunday, guys, the show either is not going to happen or it's going to happen late. And the reasons are it's my birthday on Saturday. I come from a divorced family. I've got family coming from, I don't know if I can say that because like COVID and like Canada might be watching. My sisters are coming from like, out of town and stuff like that. So keep
your visits on the DL.
you know, I've got family that I haven't seen in a long time, so I don't know if the show on Sunday is going to be at 9:30 or at all. I will keep you guys posted because I'm not just going to, you know, at 9:15 tell you, hey, you know, it's not happening. I'll let you guys know early on Sunday, but I just want to give you guys that heads up. Not like you guys would like, you know, plan your day around my show or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but like just to give you guys a heads up, like don't, you know, if I'm not there, don't think like, you know, we're done or we're never coming again. We'll be back on Tuesday, worst case, but yeah, just keep an eye out for that reminder. I will post it Sunday earlier. But yeah, there's a lot of family stuff going on and things like that. A lot of family I haven't seen in a long time. So hopefully you guys are cool with that. Hopefully you guys can only have Newbie and the Comic Kingpins, you know, just once next week, and you guys are cool with it. But after that, this is the first show I'd have to cancel. So that's pretty good, I think, considering, you know, the world we live in and, you know, the work schedules that everyone has and things like that. So, yeah, just want to let you guys know that. So.
Well, you know, I feel like we could probably work it out so that we can either do it late or we could figure something out. But you know, me and you, and Hyper and Keys, we can talk about that throughout the week and figure out how we want to do it. And yeah, definitely, we'll keep everybody informed of what's going on for sure.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. Like I said, I won't wait until like, you know, 9:25 to let you know it's not happening. I'll give you guys.
Right.
But also, don't be surprised if we do decide to do something because it's a little bit later. I'm not saying like it's going to be 11:30 or midnight, but you know, instead of it being 9:30 show, maybe it's a 10 o'clock show, something like that, right? But we'll keep you guys posted. We'll keep you guys posted. Face, before we go, let the people know where they can find you, what's going on with FaceTime.
Well, you can find us every Monday on over on my channel on YouTube or previously on, where, you know, we discuss current comic news, speculation, a little bit of everything. We get into, you know, basically just bullshitting about comics, and we go over a small list of our FOC and new comic book day picks, you know, to keep everybody informed and keep everybody ahead a little bit. So
yeah.
We will probably be having a special guest this week also. I don't want to say yet for sure who it is, but yeah, we will probably have a guest again this week. So
all right.
Potentially making a YouTube debut. Potentially, we'll see.
And not to keep them out, but like, Hype, what do you got coming up? Well, I got 2 videos, but like I got more. No, I'm just kidding. Hype, if you guys don't know, was feeling under the weather, so he wasn't here. So he'll be back either Sunday or Tuesday with us. So shout outs to Hyper. Hopefully he gets, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Blue Pill went a little too hard, so to speak, and hopefully we'll see him back here next week when he's feeling better. Get well, Hyper.
Yeah,
we love you, bro.
You know what? That's in the spirit of Hyper.
My parting words is, if you're too broke to buy comics, visit your local library.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I tried to
just get us out of here. That shit would never not be funny.
With that said, you guys know how I leave you guys. Keep looking for those books because they're out there. Later.
Peace.